So you can either make a system backwards compatible or make a brand new service that people have to pay for shit they could have got if the system was backwards compatible. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Product Data. We got a product review today, and today we're going to be talking about the new video game streaming service from PlayStation, aptly titled PlayStation Now, because they don't want to wait till later. Now, PlayStation Now is, like I said, a video game streaming service. It's sort of like Netflix, but in a video game sense, where they have a library of all these previous PlayStation 3 titles that you can go into this service, like this cloud server, and you get to stream the game online without having to worry about it being on your system's hard drive or having to actually go out and physically buy the game. Now, they've been working on this for some time. They actually had a beta version of this out last year that they tried on PlayStation 3 that was, for the most part, pretty good. I tried it out. I didn't have too much problems with it, but you know, it was sort of like a lag in time with them trying to roll it out on the new system. Now, just recently, around the mid to end of January, they put it out, and I just got a chance to actually, try it out, get a free trial of it, and see how it goes. And I've ran into more bad things about it than good things about it. I'm going to be very, very open-minded about this, but I'm going to have to be honest with you guys. So let's get into this shit right now. Now, let's talk about the positives of PlayStation Now. If you haven't played specific PlayStation 3 titles, or you never owned a PlayStation 3, you skipped it, or if you had a game that you didn't beat or anything like that, and it's on this system, it allows you to play the game and relive the experience of playing the game from scratch though, but you get to play the game again. Also, it doesn't take up any space on your hard drive of your system. So if you have a PS4, PS3, whatever it is, it uses its own cloud server where it uses that actual data to save everything, and you don't have to worry about it taking up space on your PlayStation. And it just makes it available for you to play any game that you want at any time, 24/7, 365. Now, generally, that seems like a great idea, right? A great thing. But here are all the things that makes PlayStation Now something that is just not fucking great at all, to me. One, yes, it's a video game streaming service sort of like Netflix, so you need an online connection. Now, with Netflix, these are movies and these are video games. Two completely different things, but so video games are a lot more, space, bigger, file size. These shits are done in Blu-ray version, on Blu-ray disc. I mean, come on, you need a lot of fucking memory and space to be able to run these games. Now that you're doing it on an online server, you have to have a top-notch internet connection. So you can't use Wi-Fi. You mostly have to use, unless you have a great Wi-Fi system, of course, but most of the time you have to use a landline, and even within, you have to make sure that you have at least 5 megabytes of space going up to 12. They say between 5 and 12, but here's the issue with that. Not everybody has a certain amount of megabyte speed that they can just have to freely access. If you live at home with other people who also use the internet, share your bandwidth, that could affect it and also make the game not work or be choppy. Also, if you're in an area where they don't have one of their Sony data centers and you're not within range, that also has an effect on it. Or if you're in an area where it's just, the servers are acting up, the internet provider you having is acting up, or just in general, if PlayStation Now is acting up, the service doesn't really work for you on a regular basis. The game will kick you out, it won't start, it won't work, it'll chop, it'll lag. So unless you're in like the perfect area of the fucking world that they have made for you to be able to do this with perfect internet, PlayStation Now really doesn't work now or all the time you want it. They tell you to use it at specific times, to get the best results, like super late at night or super early in the morning when nobody's really on the internet. But not everybody has that amount of time to play a fucking video game at those specific times. So it really means if you're a loner or a loser with no life, you're good. But other than that, if you got a life and you got people who you live with who also use internet, it's going to be a little bit of difficulty. Now it seems like I'm going in on PlayStation Now, which I kind of am. But the thing is this is a great idea for a service, but it's just implemented so poorly in my opinion. I think that they should find a way to make this service a little bit easier for people to use, build more data centers, make it for people to actually use the service, because if you're in an area that really isn't, very populous, or if you're in a real area that doesn't have like a large, amount of internet space, this isn't going to work for you that well as if you're in a large city or a large place where a lot of people are. And that's one of the drawbacks. On top of that, there's no real incentive with PlayStation Plus or any of the other services that PlayStation offers with PS Now. So it's two separate services that you're paying for, which I think is a little bit of a drawback. Like, I think they should do something with the PlayStation Plus members. If you want to rent a game, you get a discounted price. Something to make more of an incentive for people who actually have already, PlayStation Plus memberships and things like that. I would find that strange if they don't have that connected. And I just think that it would have been so much easier to make the fucking PlayStation 4 backwards compatible. I know that they didn't want to do that, but it would have been so much more easier. But I know this is a whole money situation. They want to just make more money. I understand that. Now, I don't want you guys to think that this is a terribly horrible service. Not at all. All I'm saying is that for me personally, what they have to offer is just something that I'm not really getting into off top. But I will show you what PlayStation Now looks like. I can't, unfortunately, stream a game because the internet servers are acting up. They've been acting up for the past couple of days. But I will show you generally what it looks like, get you a quick look at it, and see what you think about it. Alright guys, so here I'm going to show you what PlayStation Now is all about. Now, when you download it or put it onto your PS4 or any system you have, it's going to be on your home screen just with your other games and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and just go into this and I'll show you what it has to offer as far as the service off general. Now, when you go there, like I said, this is all PS3 titles. So you go there and they have Spotlight games, but they also have it broken down by different genres and types. Or you can go to all games and then they'll show you all the games. So let's go to all subscriptions so I can kind of show you a little bit of everything. And they have games like Uncharted 2, God of War, BioShock, The Walking Dead, you know, Street Fighter. You know, they have a lot of top level games, Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition. And the thing about it is they have a lot of great games, but it's mostly games that if you had a PS3, you've most likely played a good majority of these games or beat them. Like I've played, you know, God of War to the death. Uncharted I've done, Last of Us I've played, you know, so it's mostly mainly, you know, for people I guess who haven't experienced these games before or who have a PS3 or who would like to re-experience it. But and it's a very limited catalog if you look, and they got a little bit of everything. They got Sonic on here, they got like smaller games like The Blob and, you know, Hot Shots Golf, you know, things that really aren't like, you know, too much of the high profile games. So they have a good little balance of everything. But the problem that I find with this, just like I said before, since it's a streaming service, depending on the game you get, if you get a game like Dead Island here, where it's a very large game, very high graphics, very, you know, intense, you have to make sure you have a high quality internet connection, because if you don't, you're not going to get the best experience out of that game. And it's too many, you know, it's just too much reliability on this internet connection that you have to have. And not only the internet connection, but just the area that you're located in. If you know, your internet connection seems to lag and stall, games will start to, you know, bog or probably, you know, not even work at all. Like, I would love to show you guys a game, but right now I've been trying actually for the past day, and the whole server has not been working for me. I played when it first came out for a little bit. It was a little choppy and laggy, then it worked okay. And then it's been like absolutely not working at all, and I've done everything that they said to do. It's just, you know, a problem. So, but I did want to just give you guys a rundown of what they have to offer. The streaming service is like a good general idea. I personally think that they should have just did a, you know, backwards compatibility with the system, or if anything, let you download these games. I mean, one game at a time, let you be able to download it. You can wait for the download time. I could. And then, you know, when you're done, delete the game, come back here, and then download another game. I don't see the problem with that. But apparently they want to go with this streaming service. And, you know, it's a good idea in general, but I still think it needs a little bit of work. The titles they have on here are great. It's just, I think that with these being such a large, you know, these are such large scale games with so much content in them, that streaming them is just, you know, for the most part, unless you're in a great area, you're near the data center, you have a good internet connection, and nobody around you is using the internet, you know, or your bandwidth, it would work fine. But it's so many factors that causes you to need to be able to use that I don't think it's really worth all the trouble and hassle. And I would prefer just buying the game at a GameStop or any other game retailer for a cheaper price, seeing as these are all generally old games. I can get it for a low price and keep the game for life and not have to worry about paying over and over for it if I want to play it or not. So, just a little rundown of PlayStation Now. It's okay for an idea, but I still think it needs a lot more work to do. And just the internet, you know, thing about it is just one thing that really just turns me off about it, with you needing to have so many factors to it. But there it is. So check it out if you want. If you have amazing internet and nobody lives with you and you're a loner, then you may be able to use this. But other than that, you may have a little bit of difficulty playing this. So as you can see, there is a vast amount of titles that are there that is very, very high profile and good to, you know, to play if you can play them. Like God of War, you know, Dead Island, The Last of Us. These are all great titles that PlayStation has to offer, PlayStation Now has to offer, but you just have to have all those functions going on 100 for you to be able to play it as if you had the actual game, physical game, you know, in the console. So I just don't think that the positives outweigh the negatives. It really doesn't for me. And for the most part, PlayStation Now, as of it is right now, is nothing that I think should be, you know, going out and everybody rushing to go out and getting subscribed to, because I just think they need a lot more work. They need to find out a way to, you know, get more people to be able to play this at one time, beef their servers up, and just make it a better experience for people who want to, you know, stream these games. Also for the PlayStation Plus members, that would be good. And if in general, just make the goddamn system backwards compatible. Put something, a patch in there where you can put in PlayStation 3 games and just rip the game onto your hard drive. We don't mind waiting for a game to download. That's not a problem. We're doing it right now, so I don't see what the difference is now. I just think it's just a way for PlayStation to make more money. And as far as the money side of things, the $20 a month, you know, subscription fee, or the $45 for 3 if you want to buy it in bulk, doesn't really seem like a great thing if you're not going to be playing all the time, and if you have to already anyway buy the rentals, you know, on top of that at a random price, whatever the developer decides to pay. It seems like you're putting too much money into the server and you're not really getting much in return. So I have to say, PlayStation Now for me, there's no value to it for me at this moment, and I really don't see myself, you know, renewing my subscription after my trial period. I got a trial period, and I don't see myself getting it anymore. I love you, PlayStation. You ride or die. I'm always going to be with you, but PlayStation Now, I'm going to have to pass on this one. So my final verdict, I'm not saying that PlayStation Now is an overall really good idea, just not implemented well. Yes, you can stream all the games you want. They have a good catalog of games, high-profile games, and you know, you don't have to worry about it taking up space on your system, and you can use it on multiple systems, PS4, PS3, Vita. The TVs, you can do it on Sony TVs as well, and Blu-ray players. You know, they really have expanded it onto different platforms. The only issue with that is that it just doesn't work at all times, and there's so many factors that could cause this to not work, which makes it too much of a hassle for anybody to want to have. So all I'm really saying is that PlayStation Now, though seems like a good idea, it's not really, you know, anything that I feel like I would be using or have a use for. You don't have any incentive for PlayStation Plus. You got to pay a lot more money, you know, than you really should, I believe. And then on top of that, with the rental periods, and you know, if you have it, you know, $1 a day, you can go to Redbox and, you know, buy the actual physical game, and then you'll be done with it. All in all, I'm saying is that PlayStation Now needs more work. In time, hopefully they'll get, you know, better at making a bigger server, bigger make the bandwidth a little bit easier for everybody to have, because everybody just doesn't have that access to be able to play at all times with uninterrupted and any other problems. So it's been a long stretch since I've done this, guys, but I have to do it. So for me, I have to say that PlayStation Now is 100% not Granddad approved. Oh, that hurts my heart to say that, but it's the truth, okay? So honestly, I mean, unless you have a great, you know, internet connection, and you don't have any problems, yes, this service should work perfectly fine for you. But for the general purpose of, I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, it just doesn't work at all times, and it just doesn't seem like it's worth the money that you're putting into it. And I just think that PlayStation Now needs a lot more work. Maybe in the future, in a few more months, it'll get better, but as it stands right now, I'm not going to get it anytime soon, all right? So, that's all I got to say. PlayStation Now. Sad to say, but it's not Granddad approved. Flip it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of PlayStation Now, if you have it, if you haven't got it. Like I said, you might not want to try it out. Unless you got super great internet and you're in a great area. But other than that, the previous videos on the side, as well as my music video. Check those out, show them some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below. Woolly Reviews, twice a week. And don't forget to check out my gaming channel. All kinds of great video game plays going on there. Hilarious videos, Dying Light, WW2K15, Super Smash Bros. Mario Kart, whole bunch of shit. So check that out. Let me know what you think. So until next time, I take my leave. Granddaughter, PlayStation Now. I'm sorry I had to do it. I'm out of here.